The rain comes down in sheets across Seattle, turning the evening streets into mirrors of neon and headlights. Marcus Chen pulls his daughter closer under the awning of the corner grocery store, his jacket spread over both their heads like a makeshift umbrella. Maya is 8 years old, gap-toothed and stubborn, and right now she's shivering despite the warmth of June. "Dad, can we go home now?" Her voice is small, tired. "Soon, baby, just need to wait for the bus." But the bus is late. It's always late on Thursdays when Marcus has to pick Maya up from her after-school program across town. 23 minutes late according to his phone, and the battery icon is flashing red. He silences the alarm, reminding him about tomorrow's rent, and tucks the phone back into his pocket. That's when he sees her. A woman sits hunched against the brick wall of the closed laundromat next door. She's soaked through, her dark hair plastered to her face, arms wrapped around her knees. No coat, no umbrella, just a thin gray sweater that clings to her frame and jeans torn at the knees. Her sneakers, once white, are now the color of street puddles. She's trembling. Marcus has lived in Seattle long enough to recognize the invisible people, the ones commuters step over, eyes sliding past like water off glass. He's been close to invisible himself more times than he'd like to remember. 3 months behind on electricity, 2 weeks away from losing the apartment, 1 missed shift from complete disaster, but he's not there yet. Not quite. "Stay here," he tells Maya, pressing her against the storefront window where it's dry. "Daddy, where are you going?" "Just wait. I'll be right back." He jogs the 15 feet to where the woman sits. Up close, she's younger than he thought. Maybe 30, maybe less. Her face is pale, lips tinged blue. When she looks up at him, her eyes are the color of amber catching light, sharp and aware despite the exhaustion written across her features. "Hey," Marcus says, crouching down, "you okay?" She blinks at him like she's forgotten how to process simple questions. "I'm fine." "You don't look fine. You look like you're about to pass out." "I'm just waiting for someone." Her voice is hoarse, cultured beneath the roughness. There's something that doesn't quite fit, like a painting in the wrong frame. But Marcus has learned not to ask too many questions. Everyone on the street has a story, and most of those stories hurt. "How long have you been waiting?" She doesn't answer, just pulls her knees tighter to her chest. The rain intensifies, drumming harder against the pavement. Water streams from the broken gutter above her, splashing onto her shoulder. She doesn't move, doesn't seem to notice or care. Marcus makes a decision, the kind his ex-wife used to call reckless, the kind that got him into trouble more often than not. But it's also the kind his daughter watches him make, learning what it means to be human in a world that teaches you not to care. "Come on," he says, extending his hand. "You can wait with us, under cover at least." The woman stares at his hand like it's a foreign object. "Why?" "Because you're going to freeze to death out here." "You don't know me." "Don't need to." Marcus keeps his hand steady, palm up. "Just need to know you're cold and wet and human. That's enough." For a long moment she doesn't move. Then slowly, hesitantly, she reaches out. Her hand is ice cold, fingers trembling. Marcus pulls her to her feet, and she sways slightly before catching her balance. They walk back to the awning where Maya waits. His daughter's eyes go wide, but she doesn't say anything. She's learned from her father, learned that kindness doesn't always come with explanations. Marcus shrugs off his jacket and drapes it over the woman's shoulders. It's his only jacket, the one with the broken zipper he's been meaning to fix for 6 months. She looks at it like he's just handed her something precious. "You'll get wet," she says. "I'll dry." He turns to Maya. "Scoot over, baby, make some room." The 3 of them huddle together under the small awning. The woman stops shivering after a few minutes, though she still looks like a ghost. pale and insubstantial in the dim light. Maya, never one to let silence settle, pipes up. "I'm Maya. What's your name?" The woman hesitates. "Sophia. Are you homeless?" "Maya," Marcus warns, but Sophia shakes her head. "It's okay." She looks at the little girl with something soft in her amber eyes. "I'm just having a bad day. Daddy says bad days don't last forever. He says the sun always comes back, even when you can't see it." Sophia's expression cracks, just a little. "Your dad sounds very wise." "He is." Maya beams with absolute conviction. "He's the best dad in the whole world." Marcus feels heat creep up his neck. "Bus should be here soon." But the bus doesn't come. Another 10 minutes pass, then 15. The woman named Sophia sits with them in silence, occasionally glancing at the empty street as if expecting someone to appear. No one does. Maya leans against Marcus, her breathing evening out. She's falling asleep standing up, the way she does when exhaustion wins over stubbornness. "How old is she?" Sophia asks quietly. 8, going on 30. A ghost of a smile. "She's beautiful." "Takes after her mom." The words come out before Marcus can stop them, carrying weight. He doesn't mean to share with strangers. Sophia studies him in the half-light. "Where is her mom?" "Not here." It's all he's willing to say, all he can say without breaking something open inside his chest. She nods, understanding the shape of that silence. They sit together, 3 people under an awning in the rain, each carrying their own invisible wounds. Finally, headlights cut through the downpour. The bus, 47 minutes late, hisses to a stop at the curb. Marcus gently shakes Maya awake. "Come on, baby, time to go home." As they stand, Sophia rises too, moving to take off his jacket. "Keep it," Marcus says. "At least until you're somewhere warm." "I can't take your jacket." "You're not taking it, I'm giving it." He hefts Maya into his arms, her head dropping onto his shoulder. "There's a shelter 3 blocks north on Pike. They serve dinner until 8. Tell them Marcus sent you." Sophia looks at him like he's just spoken a language she's forgotten. "Why are you helping me?" Marcus pauses at the bus steps, Maya's weight comfortable and familiar against his chest. "Because someone helped me once when I needed it, and because my daughter is watching. I want her to grow up knowing that when someone's drowning, you don't ask for their resume before throwing them a line." If you're enjoying this story so far, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Drop a comment telling me where in the world you're watching from. I love hearing from you. The bus doors close behind them, and Marcus finds a seat near the back. Through the rain-streaked window, he sees Sophia, still standing under the awning, his jacket wrapped around her shoulders, watching the bus pull away. He wonders if she'll go to the shelter. Wonders if whoever she was waiting for will ever show up. Wonders why her voice sounded like someone who'd never asked for help before in her life. Maya stirs against his shoulder. "Daddy?" "Yeah, baby." "That lady seemed really sad." Marcus kisses the top of her head. "Yeah, she did. Do you think she'll be okay?" He looks back one more time, but the awning is already disappearing into the rain and darkness. "I hope so, sweetheart. I really hope so." What Marcus doesn't know is that Sophia watched that bus until it vanished completely. She pulled his jacket tighter, breathing in the smell of laundry detergent and coffee and something indefinable that felt like safety. In the inner pocket, she found a grocery receipt from 2 days ago. Bread, peanut butter, discount cereal, total $11.37. A man with $11 worth of groceries had just given a stranger his only jacket. Sophia pulled out her phone, the screen cracked but functional. 12 missed calls, 37 texts, all from the same number, all variations of the same message. "Where are you? Security is looking everywhere. This isn't safe. Please come back." She silenced the phone and slid it back into her pocket. For 3 hours she had walked the streets of Seattle like a ghost, trying to remember what it felt like to be invisible, to be no one. For 3 hours people had looked through her, around her, past her, exactly as she'd wanted, but then Marcus Chen had looked at her, and now his jacket sat heavy on her shoulders, warm and worn and smelling of someone else's ordinary, extraordinary life. 24 hours earlier, Sophia Laurent had stood in the penthouse of the Laurent Tower, 73 floors above Seattle, and made a decision that would change everything. The floor-to-ceiling windows reflected her image back at her, perfectly tailored suit, hair swept into a flawless chignon, diamond studs that cost more than most people's cars. Behind her, the city sprawled in miniature, a kingdom she had inherited and expanded, a legacy she had never asked for but had learned to carry with grace. "Ms. Laurent, the board is waiting." Her assistant David stood in the doorway with his tablet and his concerned expression, the one that said she was doing something unusual and he didn't know how to manage it. "Tell them I'm taking a personal day." "A personal day?" David repeated the words like they were in a foreign language. "You haven't taken a personal day in 6 years." "Then I'm overdue." She walked past him, leaving her suit jacket draped over the chair, her heels clicking against marble that cost more per square foot than Marcus Chen paid in monthly rent. In the private elevator, she watched the numbers descend, 73, 61, 47. With each floor, she shed a layer of the person everyone expected her to be. In the underground garage, she bypassed the fleet of company vehicles, the Mercedes, the Tesla, the town car with her driver waiting patiently by the door. Instead, she found the old Honda in the corner, the one that had belonged to her grandmother, the only thing she'd kept from her life before the money, before the expectations, before the weight of an empire settled onto her shoulders at 23. The security guard did a double take. "Ms. Laurent, should I call Marcus to bring the car around?" Different Marcus, different life. "No, thank you, Raymond. I'm driving myself today." "Is everything all right, ma'am?" She thought about the question, about the board meeting she was skipping, about the merger that needed her signature, about the charity gala tomorrow night where she'd smile for cameras and write checks that meant nothing to her bottom line and everything to the people receiving them, about how none of it felt real anymore. "Everything's fine," she lied, and drove out into a city she had stopped seeing years ago. She drove without destination, letting the afternoon traffic carry her through neighborhoods she only knew from reports and statistics. She stopped at a thrift store and bought the cheapest clothes she could find, worn jeans, a gray sweater with a small hole near the hem, canvas sneakers that had seen better days. In the store's bathroom she changed, stuffing her designer clothes into a plastic bag she left in the car. She turned off her phone, and then she walked. She walked through the city like she was searching for something, though she couldn't have said what. Past coffee shops where people sat with laptops, building dreams or wasting time, she couldn't tell which. Past construction sites where workers called to each other in Spanish and English and languages she didn't recognize. Past schools letting out children streaming onto sidewalks in rivers of noise and color. She walked until her feet hurt, until the sun started to sink, until the first raindrops began to fall. And then she sat down against a brick wall and waited to feel something real. She hadn't expected Marcus Chen, hadn't expected a man who looked exhausted and worried and kind to stop in the rain and offer his hand. Hadn't expected a little girl with gap teeth and absolute faith in her father. Hadn't expected a jacket that smelled like home. Now, standing under the awning after the bus had gone, Sophia made another decision. She took off the jacket, folded it carefully, and draped it over the back of a nearby bench where it wouldn't get wet. Then she pulled out her phone and turned it back on. The calls came immediately. Within minutes, 3 black SUVs pulled up to the curb, and David jumped out, looking 10 years older than he had that morning. "Thank God," he breathed. "Ms. Laurent, we've been terrified." "I'm fine, David. The board wanted to call the police. Security has been searching. I needed some time alone, that's all." But it wasn't all. It was everything and nothing. It was a moment of being invisible and then being seen. It was $11.37 of groceries and a man who gave away his only jacket. As the SUVs pulled away from the curb, Sophia looked back at the jacket on the bench. Someone would find it, would take it home, would wonder about the man who left it there. She turned to David. "I need you to find someone for me." "Who?" "A man named Marcus Chen, has a daughter Maya, 8 years old, takes the bus on Thursdays." David pulled out his tablet. "Last name Chen in Seattle area, that's probably several hundred people. Do you have more information?" Sophia thought about the grocery receipt, about the way Marcus had looked at his daughter with tired eyes full of love, about his hands, scarred and calloused from work she could only imagine. "Start with single fathers," she said quietly. "Blue-collar work, probably behind on bills. Someone who shops at discount groceries and tells his daughter, 'The sun always comes back.'" David looked at her strangely but didn't ask questions. "I'll put a team on it." "Discreetly, David. Very discreetly." "Of course, Ms. Laurent." She leaned back in the leather seat as the city lights blurred past. Somewhere in this city of 700,000 people, Marcus Chen was probably getting his daughter ready for bed, probably worried about tomorrow's rent, probably not thinking at all about the woman he'd helped in the rain. But Sophia was thinking about him, and she had all the resources in the world to find him again. Marcus unlocks the door to their apartment and carries Maya inside. She's fully asleep now, her arms wrapped around his neck, breath warm against his cheek. The apartment is small, a one-bedroom in a building that's seen better decades. The carpet is stained, the windows stick, and the radiator makes sounds like a dying animal. But it's home. It's theirs. He lays Maya on the pull-out couch that serves as his bed and gently removes her shoes. She doesn't wake, just curls into the thin blanket like a small comma. He watches her for a moment, this fierce little person who believes he's the best dad in the world, who doesn't know how close they are to the edge every single month. In the bathroom, Marcus looks at himself in the mirror. His shirt is soaked through, clinging to his thin frame. At 36, he looks 40. The grease under his fingernails never fully comes out. The circles under his eyes are permanent fixtures. His hair, once thick and dark, is starting to show gray at the temples. He's a mechanic at Wang's Auto Repair, has been for 7 years, started as a lube tech, worked his way up to diagnostics. His boss, Mr. Wang, is fair but firm. Show up on time, do good work, go home. No promises, no guarantees. Just an hourly wage and the understanding that if business slows down, someone gets cut. Before that, Marcus had been an engineer, had a degree from Seattle University, a job at a tech startup, a wife who loved him, and a future that looked bright. Then the startup folded, the investors pulled out, and suddenly his degree meant nothing in a market flooded with people just like him. Sarah, his wife, had tried to stick it out. She really had. But month after month of rejections, of overqualified for this and underqualified for that, of watching their savings evaporate and their dreams shrink, it wore her down. "I can't do this anymore," she'd said one morning, her suitcase already packed. "I can't watch us drown." "We're not drowning. We're figuring it out." "You're figuring it out, Marcus. I'm just sinking." Maya had been 4 years old enough to ask where Mommy went, old enough to remember even now, even though Sarah sends birthday cards twice a year and nothing in between. Marcus traded his engineer's ambitions for mechanics' wages, traded the life he'd planned for the life he could survive. And he's been surviving ever since. Paycheck to paycheck, crisis to crisis, telling his daughter that bad days don't last forever, while secretly wondering when the good days might start. His phone buzzes. A text from Mr. Wang. Need you tomorrow 6 a.m. truck job, time and a half. Marcus types back immediately. I'll be there. Time and a half means he can pay tomorrow's rent. Means they eat something better than discount cereal for a few days. Means maybe, just maybe, he can fix the hole in Maya's shoe before winter comes. He strips off his wet shirt and hangs it over the shower rod to dry. Then he checks on Maya one more time, pulls the blanket up to her chin, and kisses her forehead. Love you, baby, he whispers. In the kitchen, he makes himself instant ramen, the kind that costs 29 cents a package. He eats standing up, looking out the window at the rain-soaked street below. Somewhere out there, a woman named Sophia is hopefully somewhere warm, hopefully somewhere safe. He wonders if she went to the shelter, wonders if she's okay, then pushes the thought away because he has enough people to worry about, enough problems of his own. But as he crawls onto the pull-out couch beside Maya, careful not to wake her, Marcus finds himself thinking about amber-colored eyes and a voice that sounded like it belonged to someone else's life. He falls asleep to the sound of rain against the window and his daughter's gentle breathing, and he dreams of jackets that come back and bad days that actually end. What Marcus doesn't know, what he can't possibly know, is that 20 blocks away, in a penthouse that costs more per month than he makes in a year, Sophia Laurent is dreaming too. She's dreaming of a man who looked at her and saw a person, not a problem. She's dreaming of a little girl who asked her name with genuine curiosity, not calculation. She's dreaming of the weight of an old jacket on her shoulders and the smell of someone else's honest, ordinary, struggling, beautiful life. And when she wakes before dawn, when David calls to say they've narrowed the search down to 7 possibilities, when she prepares to step back into the role of CEO and benefactor and all the things people expect her to be, Sophia makes one thing clear. Find him, David, but be careful. I don't want to disrupt his life. What exactly are you planning to do when we find him, Ms. Laurent? She looks at the city waking up beyond her windows, at the ordinary people starting their ordinary days, at the invisible lives she's spent so long not seeing. I'm going to return his jacket, she says softly, and then I'm going to say thank you. But even Sophia Laurent, with all her resources and all her power, doesn't know what will happen when those two worlds finally collide again, doesn't know that kindness, like a seed planted in unexpected soil, can grow into something neither of them imagined, doesn't know that sometimes the people we save end up saving us right back. The rain has stopped. The city gleams wet and clean in the early morning light, and somewhere in Seattle, Marcus Chen is waking up to face another day, completely unaware that his life is about to change in ways he never asked for and never saw coming. David finds Marcus Chen in 48 hours, not the first Marcus Chen on the list, or the third, but number 6. Marcus Chen, 36, mechanic at Wang's Auto Repair, single father to Maya Chen, 8, enrolled at Roosevelt Elementary, current residence apartment 4B at 2247 Pike Street, rent 3 months behind, credit score 542, last known employment before Wang's, junior engineer at Tech Vista Solutions, dissolved 2019. The file David compiles is thorough, professional, and heartbreaking in its precision. Every number tells a story of someone barely holding on. Sophia reads it in her office. The city spread beneath her like a circuit board of light. She traces her finger over the address, imagining the apartment, the struggling radiator, the pull-out couch, the little girl who believes her father hung the moon. "What do you want me to do with this information?" David asks. Sophia closes the file. Nothing yet. I need to think. Ms. Laurent, with respect, you've been thinking for 2 days. The board is asking questions about your absence last week. The merger needs your attention. The gala is tonight. The gala, right. The annual Laurent Foundation fundraiser, where Seattle's wealthiest gather to write checks and feel virtuous. Where Sophia will wear a dress that costs more than Marcus's annual salary and smile for cameras and pretend that money alone can fix the world's problems. I'll be there, she says, but first I need to make a stop. David's expression suggests he knows exactly where she intends to go and disapproves on every professional level, but he's been her assistant for 6 years, long enough to know when to argue and when to simply coordinate. I'll have the car brought around. No? Sophia stands, already planning. I'll drive myself, and David knows security detail. Ms. Laurent, that's not advisable. I'm returning a jacket, not negotiating a hostile takeover. I'll be fine. She leaves before he can protest further, taking the elevator down to the garage where her grandmother's Honda sits waiting, still dirty from her walk through the city 3 days ago. Wang's Auto Repair sits on a corner in South Seattle, a squat building with 3 garage bays and a parking lot marked by oil stains and ambition. The sign above the door has been hand-painted, the lettering careful and proud. Sophia parks across the street and watches through her windshield. It's a Friday afternoon, warm sun cutting through the morning's clouds. The garage bays are open, and she can see figures moving inside, hear the metallic clang of tools, the hiss of air compressors. She's folded Marcus's jacket carefully, cleaned, and pressed it, though it had protested the treatment, the worn fabric not meant for such attention. Now it sits on the passenger seat beside her, and Sophia realizes she has no plan beyond this moment. What does she say? Thank you for helping me when I was pretending to be homeless, while actually being a billionaire. The truth sounds absurd even in her head. A figure emerges from the middle bay, wiping hands on a rag. Even from a distance, Sophia recognizes Marcus. He's wearing coveralls with Chen stitched over the pocket, his dark hair pushed back from his face, leaving a smudge of grease on his forehead. He looks tired but focused, competent in a way that speaks of years of practice. He's beautiful in his ordinariness, and Sophia feels something twist in her chest. Before she can talk herself out of it, she grabs the jacket and crosses the street. The garage smells like motor oil and metal and hard work. 2 other mechanics are bent over vehicles, and a man she assumes is Mr. Wang sits at a desk in the corner, squinting at paperwork. None of them notice her approach. Excuse me, Sophia says. I'm looking for Marcus Chen. Mr. Wang looks up, his expression shifting to customer service mode. Marcus, he's in Bay 2. Can I help you with something? I just need to speak with him for a moment. Mr. Wang calls out in Mandarin, and Marcus appears from beneath a lifted truck, confusion crossing his face when he sees Sophia standing there in jeans and a simple blouse, his cleaned jacket folded over her arm. For a long moment they just stare at each other. Then recognition floods Marcus's features. Sophia? She nods, suddenly nervous, in a way she hasn't felt since her first board meeting. Hi, I wanted to return this. She holds out the jacket. Marcus steps closer, wiping his hands on his coveralls, leaving new streaks of grease. He looks at the jacket, then at her, then back at the jacket. You didn't have to do that. I told you to keep it. You gave me your only jacket in the rain. I couldn't keep it. How did you... He stops, realizing. How did you find me? This is the moment where she has to start telling the truth. Can we talk somewhere private? Marcus glances back at Mr. Wang, who's watching with undisguised interest. I'm on shift until 6. I can wait. That's 4 hours from now. I know. Something shifts in Marcus's expression, wariness mixing with curiosity. There's a diner 2 blocks down, Ruby's. I take my lunch break at 2. Meet me there? Sophia checks her watch. 45 minutes. I'll be there. She leaves before he can ask more questions, before she can see the suspicion growing in his eyes. Back in her car, she texts David. Push the gala start time to 8. Tell them I have an unavoidable conflict. His response is immediate. This is highly irregular. I know. Do it anyway. She drives to Ruby's diner and parks where she can see the entrance. The building is exactly what she expected. Worn red vinyl booths, a counter with spinning stools, a menu board with plastic letters announcing the daily special. It's the kind of place where coffee is bottomless and nobody asks questions. Sophia sits in a booth near the back and orders coffee she doesn't drink. Time moves strangely, too fast and too slow. She rehearses what she'll say, then abandons each version as insufficient. At exactly 2 o'clock, Marcus walks through the door. He's washed the grease from his hands but missed the smudge on his forehead. He slides into the booth across from her, his expression guarded but not unkind. So, he says, you're not homeless. No, but you wanted me to think you were. Sophia wraps her hands around her coffee cup. It's complicated. Everything's complicated if you make it that way. Marcus signals the waitress, orders coffee and a sandwich. Then he turns his attention fully to Sophia. Who are you really? She takes a breath. My name is Sophia Laurent. I'm the CEO of Laurent Technologies. Marcus blinks, once, twice. Then he laughs, a sharp sound without much humor. You're kidding. I'm not. Laurent Technologies, the Laurent Tower. He gestures vaguely toward downtown. That Laurent. Yes. The waitress brings his coffee and sandwich. Marcus doesn't touch either. He's looking at Sophia like she's a puzzle he's trying to solve, and some of the pieces don't fit. Why were you sitting in the rain, dressed like... He stops himself. Like I was homeless, Sophia finishes, because I wanted to know what it felt like to be invisible. That's... Marcus searches for words. That's possibly the most insulting thing I've heard in a long time. Sophia flinches. I didn't mean... You didn't mean what? To treat being poor like a costume you can put on and take off? His voice is low but intense. You wanted to play pretend for an afternoon while people like me are actually living it? That's not what I was doing. Then what were you doing, Sophia? Or should I call you Ms. Laurent? The hurt in his voice cuts deeper than anger would. Sophia realizes she's been holding on to a fantasy of how this would go, imagining gratitude and connection, not this justified fury. I've spent the last 10 years, she says carefully, having people see me only as my money, as what I can do for them, what connections I have, what doors I can open. I wanted one afternoon where someone looked at me as just a person. So you lied? Yes. And now you found me. How exactly did you find me? I have resources. I asked someone to locate you. Marcus's jaw tightens. You had me investigated. I wanted to return your jacket. You could have mailed it. He's right, of course. She could have sent it with a thank you note and never seen him again. But that's not what she wanted, and they both know it. I wanted to see you again, Sophia admits. I wanted to say thank you in person. Why? Because what you did mattered. You saw someone who needed help, and you helped them without asking for anything in return. Do you know how rare that is? Marcus picks up his sandwich but doesn't eat it. It's not rare, it's basic human decency. In my world, it's very rare. Then you're in the wrong world. The words hang between them. Outside, traffic moves past, people going about their ordinary lives, unaware of this small collision happening in a back booth. You're right, Sophia says quietly. I am in the wrong world. That's why I walked away from it for an afternoon. And then you went right back to your penthouse or wherever you live. Yes, I did. She meets his eyes. I'm not going to pretend I understand what your life is like, Marcus. I don't. I can't. But I do know what it feels like to be lonely in a crowd, to wonder if anyone sees the real you underneath all the expectations. Marcus is quiet for a long moment. Then he picks up his coffee, takes a sip, makes a face at how cold it's gotten. Maya asked about you, he says finally. Wanted to know if you were okay. Sophia's throat tightens. Is she here? I'd love to thank her too. She's at after-school care until 5. Marcus checks his watch. I need to get back to work in 15 minutes. Of course. I'm sorry for taking your lunch break. You haven't eaten anything. I'm not hungry. Marcus finally bites into his sandwich, chews thoughtfully. Sophia watches him, this man who exists in a world so different from hers. It might as well be a different planet. And yet, 3 days ago, they sat together under an awning and shared something real. What do you want from me? Marcus asks abruptly. I don't know, Sophia admits. I just knew I couldn't let it end with me disappearing. That felt wrong. And investigating my life, tracking me down at work, that felt right. No, it felt necessary. Marcus shakes his head, but there's less anger in it now. You're something else, you know that? Is that good or bad? Still deciding. The waitress brings the check. Marcus reaches for it, but Sophia is faster. Please, she says, let me. Now you want to pay for my lunch, after pretending you couldn't afford dinner. I'm trying to do the right thing. The right thing would have been honesty from the beginning. He's absolutely correct, and Sophia has no defense. She leaves cash on the table, more than enough to cover the meal and a generous tip. They walk out together into the afternoon sun. Across the street, the garage waits. Marcus's lunch break is ending, and with it, this strange conversation. Thank you for the jacket, Marcus says, and for not calling the cops when I called you out. You had every right to be angry. Still do. But he says it with a hint of a smile. Though I'll admit it's not every day a billionaire tracks me down to return my clothes. I'm full of surprises. Clearly. They stand on the sidewalk, neither quite ready to leave. Cars pass. The sun is warm. Sophia can see other mechanics moving in the garage, can imagine Marcus's life continuing without her in it. Ordinary and difficult and real. Can I ask you something? Marcus says. Anything. That night when you were sitting in the rain, were you actually in trouble? Or was it all an act? Sophia considers lying, then remembers where dishonesty got her. I wasn't in physical danger, but I was in trouble in other ways. I needed to remember what it felt like to be human. And you reminded me. Marcus nods slowly. Okay, I can accept that. Really? I said I can accept it. Didn't say I forgive you yet. He starts walking toward the garage, then turns back. But if you want to try earning that forgiveness, Maya gets out of school at 3:15 on Monday. Roosevelt Elementary. The playground has a broken fence that needs fixing, and the PTA can't afford to hire anyone. Sophia's heart does something complicated in her chest. You want me to fix a fence? I want you to show up and do something that matters without a camera crew or a tax write-off. Think you can manage that? Yes, I can manage that. We'll see. Marcus waves once, then disappears back into the garage bay. Sophia stands on the sidewalk for a long moment, watching him work. Then she gets in her car and drives back to her world of board meetings and charity galas, carrying the weight of a challenge that suddenly feels more important than any merger or acquisition she's ever negotiated. The Laurent Foundation Gala is exactly as exhausting as Sophia expected. She arrives fashionably late in a gown that costs $8,000. Her hair swept up, her smile practiced and perfect. The grand ballroom of the Fairmont Olympic is transformed into something out of a fairy tale, all crystal and candlelight and champagne towers. David meets her at the entrance, tablet in hand, stress written across his face. "You're 40 minutes late. The board members are asking questions. Tell them I was handling a personal matter." "That's what I've been saying. They want to know what personal matter could be more important than this event." Sophia takes a champagne flute from a passing waiter. "Finding out what kind of person I want to be." David looks at her like she's spoken in code. "Ms. Laurent, are you feeling well?" "For the first time in years, David, I think I might be." She works the room with practiced ease, shaking hands and accepting compliments on her dress and the venue and the silent auction items. She poses for photos with donors, listens to pitches from nonprofit directors, writes checks that would solve Marcus Chen's problems 10 times over without making a dent in her accounts. And the whole time, she's thinking about a broken fence at Roosevelt Elementary. Jonathan Mercer, one of the board members, corners her by the ice sculpture. He's 60, silver-haired, and used to getting his way. "Sophia, we need to discuss your recent behavior." "Do we?" Missing board meetings, leaving events early, and now this mysterious personal matter. The board is concerned. Sophia sips her champagne. The board is always concerned. It's why we pay them so well. This isn't a joke. Laurent Technologies has shareholders, stakeholders, people depending on your leadership. And I'm leading. Just because I take a day off doesn't mean the company falls apart. It's not just one day, it's a pattern. You're distracted, unfocused. Sophia looks at him, really looks, and sees a man who's built his entire life around quarterly reports and profit margins and nothing else. She wonders if he's happy, wonders if he remembers the last time he did something just because it was the right thing to do. "Jonathan," she says calmly, "I'm not distracted. I'm awake. For the first time in a long time." She walks away before he can respond, leaving him sputtering by the ice swan. In the bathroom, she takes off her heels and sits on the marble counter, feet dangling. Her phone buzzes. A text from a number she doesn't recognize. "This is Marcus. Got your number from the name you left with the waitress at Ruby's. Maya wants to know if you're coming to fix the fence on Monday." Sophia stares at the message, a smile spreading across her face. "Tell her yes, I'll be there." The response comes quickly. She says you better not wear fancy shoes. There's mud. I'll wear my worst shoes. Somehow I doubt your worst shoes are that bad. Sophia looks down at her $800 heels, abandoned on the bathroom floor. "You're probably right. I'll buy new ones." "There you go with the money again." "Sorry." Force of habit. A pause. Then, "See you Monday, Sophia Laurent." She sits in the bathroom for another 10 minutes, ignoring the gala, ignoring the speeches happening in the ballroom, ignoring everything except the warmth spreading through her chest. Finally, she puts her heels back on and returns to the party. But everything looks different now. The crystal chandeliers seem less brilliant. The champagne tastes flat. The conversations about market positions and investment opportunities sound hollow. If you're hooked on this story, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Your support means everything and helps me bring you more emotional stories like this one. She catches David by the dessert table. "I'm leaving early." "Ms. Laurent, you're the host. You can't." "I can and I am. Make my apologies. Tell them I had a crisis that needed immediate attention." "Do you?" Sophia thinks about Monday, about a broken fence and a little girl who believes her father hung the moon, and a man who challenged her to show up and do something real. "Yes," she says, "I do." She leaves the gala before the speeches, before the auction results, before the part where she's supposed to stand on stage and accept gratitude for her generosity. She leaves wearing an $8,000 gown and drives home in her grandmother's Honda. In her penthouse, she trades the gown for sweatpants and sits by the window, looking out at the city. Somewhere down there, Marcus is probably putting Maya to bed, reading her a story, kissing her goodnight. Ordinary moments that suddenly seem more valuable than anything happening in this tower. Sophia pulls out her laptop and does something she hasn't done in years. She Googles how to fix a fence. Monday morning arrives painted in the gold light of late summer. Sophia wakes at 6, showers, and stands in front of her closet for 20 minutes. Everything she owns is designer, expensive, completely inappropriate for fence repair. She ends up in the oldest jeans she can find, a plain t-shirt, and tennis shoes that still look brand new because she's never actually worn them for anything athletic. She pulls her hair into a ponytail and looks at herself in the mirror. For the first time in years, Sophia Loren looks ordinary, and she loves it. David intercepts her in the garage. "Ms. Loren, you have a 10 o'clock with the European investors." "Cancel it." "I can't just cancel." "Then reschedule it. I'm doing something important today." "More important than a $100 million deal?" Sophia pauses, one foot in her car. "Yes, David, much more important." She drives to Home Depot and buys fence materials, posts, wire, tools she doesn't know how to use. The total comes to $237. The checkout clerk looks at her credit card, does a double take at the name, then decides not to comment. Roosevelt Elementary sits in a neighborhood that reminds Sophia of the one where she grew up before the money, before everything changed. The building is older, paint peeling in places, but the playground is full of laughter and possibility. She finds the broken fence easily, a section of chain link that's collapsed, creating a gap wide enough for children to wander through into the parking lot beyond. Sophia sets down her materials and stares at the fence. She's negotiated billion-dollar mergers, managed thousands of employees, built an empire. She has absolutely no idea how to fix a fence. "Need some help?" She turns. Marcus stands behind her, Maya at his side. The little girl is wearing purple from head to toe again, her backpack almost as big as she is. When she sees Sophia, her face lights up. "You came. Daddy said you might not, but I knew you would." Sophia kneels to Maya's level. "I wouldn't miss it, though I have to confess, I've never fixed a fence before." "That's okay," Maya says seriously. "Daddy can teach you. He's really good at fixing things." Marcus is studying the materials Sophia brought, a smile playing at the corner of his mouth. "You bought the whole store, huh?" "I wasn't sure what I'd need." "Here's a tip. Next time, ask someone before spending $200. "How did you know?" "I work with tools for a living. I know what stuff costs." He picks up a post digger. "Come on, we've got about an hour before school starts." They work side by side, Marcus showing Sophia how to dig post holes, how to set the posts level, how to attach the chain link properly. His hands are patient, his instructions clear. He doesn't talk down to her or act impressed by who she is. He treats her like any person learning a new skill. Maya plays nearby, showing Sophia the games she and her friends invented, the hopscotch pattern they drew in chalk, the secret messages written in code on the handball wall. Other parents drop off their children, and some of them recognize Sophia. She sees them whisper, pull out phones to take photos. By tomorrow, it will be online. Billionaire CEO fixes fence at public school. The headlines will be cynical, suggesting it's a publicity stunt. Let them think what they want. She's here for something more important than optics. "You're pretty good at this," Marcus says, stepping back to admire their work. "The fence isn't perfect. The posts aren't completely straight, but it's fixed, functional, safe. Sophia feels a surge of pride that's different from anything a successful merger ever gave her. I had a good teacher. Maya runs over, inspecting their work. It's perfect. Now nobody can accidentally run into the parking lot. The school bell rings. Children stream toward the entrance. Maya hugs her father, then, unexpectedly, hugs Sophia too. "Thank you for fixing our fence," she says. "You're really nice." As Maya runs toward school, Marcus and Sophia stand together, tools scattered around them, dust on their clothes. "So," Marcus says, "you showed up. You doubted me? Maybe a little. And now?" He considers. "Now I think maybe you're serious about this, whatever this is." "I am serious. I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I know I want to keep showing up." Marcus picks up the leftover materials, loading them back into Sophia's car. "Why? You've got a whole world waiting for you. Board meetings, charity galas, whatever else billionaires do. Why waste your time here?" Sophia leans against the car, looking at the fence they built together. "Because for years, I've been writing checks to fix problems I never see. I've been so far removed from the actual work that it stopped meaning anything. But this," she gestures at the fence, "this mattered. I can see it. I can touch it. I know it's real. It's just a fence. No, it's proof that I can still do something with my hands. Something that matters, something that isn't about money or power or connections." Marcus is quiet. Then he smiles, and it transforms his tired face into something younger, lighter. "You got dirt on your face." "Where?" He reaches out, brushes a smudge from her cheek. His hand is rough with calluses, warm, careful. The touch lasts only a second, but leaves an imprint. "There. Better." Sophia's heart is doing complicated things. "Thank you for telling you about the dirt, for giving me a chance to prove I'm more than my bank account." "You're welcome." Marcus checks his watch. "I have to get to work." "But Sophia." "Yes?" "If you're serious about showing up, about being part of this world instead of just looking at it from the outside, I could use help with something else." "Anything." "Maya's school has a talent show next month. The PTA needs volunteers to build the sets. It's a lot of manual labor, very little glory. Interested?" Sophia doesn't hesitate. "When do I start?" "Next Saturday, 9 a.m. Bring those fancy work clothes you bought today." He grins. They're about to get a lot less fancy. He walks to his truck, an old Ford that's seen better decades. Before he climbs in, he turns back. "Hey, Sophia?" "Yeah? Today was good. Different, but good." "Different good or different bad?" "Still deciding." He drives away, and Sophia stands in the empty parking lot, covered in dirt, exhausted in a way her office work never makes her, and happier than she's been in years. Her phone buzzes, 12 missed calls from David, 3 from board members, 1 from her publicist, probably about the photos already circulating online. She ignores all of them and drives home, already marking next Saturday on her calendar. In her penthouse that evening, Sophia orders pizza instead of having her chef prepare dinner. She eats it standing at the window, watching the city lights come on one by one. Somewhere down there, Marcus is probably making Maya dinner, helping with homework, being a father in all the small ways that matter. She wants to know more about that life, wants to understand what it's like to worry about rent and celebrate time-and-a-half shifts, and consider $11 of groceries carefully, not to play pretend this time, but to genuinely connect with a world she's spent too long ignoring. Her phone rings. Marcus's number. "Hello? Hey, it's Marcus. Sorry to call so late." "It's not late. Is everything okay?" "Yeah, fine. Maya wanted me to send you something." Sophia's email pings. An attachment? A photo of Maya standing next to the fence, giving a thumbs up, her gap-toothed smile brilliant in the afternoon sun. "She made me take like 20 pictures until she got one she liked," Marcus says, and there's warmth in his voice. Wanted you to have proof that the fence is still standing. Tell her thank you, I love it. A pause. Then Marcus says, she's not the only one grateful, you know. What you did today, showing up, getting your hands dirty, treating it like it mattered, that meant something. It did matter? I know, that's what I'm saying. You could have written a check and felt good about yourself, but you showed up. That's different. I'll keep showing up, Marcus, as long as you'll let me. We'll see how you do on Saturday. Building sets is harder than fixing fences. I'm ready for the challenge. After they hang up, Sophia sets the photo of Maya as her phone background, replacing the generic landscape that came with the device. It's a small change, but it feels significant. She's building something here, not with contracts or capital, but with time and effort and genuine presence. Something real, something that might actually matter. And for the first time in 10 years, Sophia Laurent goes to bed not thinking about tomorrow's meetings or quarterly projections, but about a little girl's smile and a man's calloused hands and the simple satisfaction of work that leaves you tired and proud. She dreams of sawdust and stage sets and a world where showing up is more valuable than signing checks. She dreams of becoming the person she wants to be instead of the person everyone expects. And when she wakes on Tuesday morning to face another day of board meetings and shareholder concerns and all the demands of running an empire, she does it with dirt still under her fingernails and a smile on her face, because Saturday is coming, and with it, another chance to build something real. Saturday arrives with perfect weather for building sets. Sophia shows up at Roosevelt Elementary early, wearing her now familiar work clothes. Marcus and Maya are already there, and the little girl runs over with excitement. Sophia, you're on my team again. For 3 hours, they work side by side. Sophia is getting better at this, measuring, cutting, painting. Her back aches, but in a good way. Marcus works beside her, their shoulders occasionally brushing, his quiet instructions patient and clear. At noon, they break for pizza. Maya sits between them, chattering about her upcoming talent show performance. I wrote a poem about dinosaurs. Will you come watch me, Sophia? I wouldn't miss it for anything. But Sophia's phone keeps buzzing. 12 calls, 20 texts. She ignores them all, focusing on sawdust and paint and Maya's laughter. Then David calls for the 6th time. Marcus notices. Maybe you should get that. Sounds urgent. Sophia excuses herself, walking outside. David, what is it? Ms. Laurent, where have you been? The board held an emergency meeting. They're threatening a vote of no confidence. You need to come back now. Her world tilts. They can't remove me. They can make your life extremely difficult. You need to handle this before Monday, or everything you've built could fall apart. Through the gym window, she can see Marcus and Maya laughing together, paintbrushes in hand, completely unaware of the corporate crisis unfolding. I'll call you back, she says, and hangs up. When she returns, Marcus is watching her carefully. Billionaire emergency? Something like that. You need to go. I don't want to. Maya looks worried. Is everything okay? Sophia kneels down. Some people at my company need me, but I'll be back soon, okay? Promise? I promise. Marcus walks her to her car. Go handle your business, Sophia. We'll still be here. What if I don't want to go back to that world? Then you need to figure that out. But you can't run from your responsibilities. His voice is gentle but firm. Whatever you decide, decide for the right reasons. That evening, Sophia sits in her office, staring at the file David prepared. Photos of her at the school, testimony about missed meetings, evidence of her distraction. The board wants her to choose, the company or this life she's been building with Marcus and Maya. Her phone rings. Marcus. Hey, she answers. Sophia, I'm at the hospital with Maya. His voice is strained. Her asthma flared up. She's okay, but they want to keep her overnight. Sophia's heart drops. I'm coming. You don't have to. I'm coming. Seattle General's emergency room is bright and cold. Marcus sits in the waiting area, head in his hands. When he sees Sophia, relief floods his face. She's stable, he says. Room 4B. Maya is in bed, oxygen tube in her nose, looking small and pale. But when she sees Sophia, her face brightens. You came. Of course I came, sweetheart. Sophia takes the chair beside the bed, holding Maya's small hand. The doctor appears. Mr. Chen, Maya's responding well. She can go home tomorrow, but there's the matter of the hospital bill, about $3,000 after insurance. Sophia sees Marcus's face go gray. I'll take care of it, she says immediately. No. Marcus's voice is firm. You won't. Marcus, I said no. He turns to the doctor. The payment plan is fine. After the doctor leaves, Marcus steps into the hallway. Sophia follows. What are you doing? His voice is low but intense. I don't need your charity. It's not charity. It's helping someone I care about. By throwing money at it, that's exactly what I'm talking about, Sophia. You think money solves everything. In this case, it does solve the problem. No, it creates a different problem. It makes me dependent on you. It makes me someone who needs rescuing. He runs his hand through his hair. I've been taking care of Maya by myself for 6 years. I'll manage this. But you don't have to manage it alone. Yes, I do. Because if I let you pay for this, where does it stop? Do you pay my rent next? My car repairs? Do I become your project? His eyes are sad. You can't fix people, Sophia. We're not broken fences. The words hit hard. Maya calls from inside the room and they return to find her watching them with worried eyes. Why are you arguing? She asks. We're not, baby, Marcus says, sitting beside her. Just talking about grown-up stuff. Around midnight, the nurse suggests Marcus go home to rest. He refuses. I'm staying with my daughter. Sophia realizes she doesn't belong here. She's not family. She's a woman who's known them for 2 weeks. I'll go, she says quietly. Marcus should stay. Marcus, she says at the door, I'm sorry for trying to fix things that aren't mine to fix. He looks at her, some of the hardness softening. I know you meant well. That's not enough, is it? Go home, Sophia. We'll figure this out later. Sunday morning, Sophia makes a decision. By Monday, she's sitting in the Laurent Technologies boardroom, facing 15 angry board members. Jonathan Mercer leads the attack. Ms. Laurent, your commitment to this company has been called into question. The missed meetings, the canceled appointments. You've been AWOL. I've been learning what it means to be human again, Sophia replies. And yes, that's taken time away from this building. We don't need you to be human. We need you to be an effective CEO. Sophia opens her folder and removes a document. This is my resignation as CEO, effective in 60 days. The room erupts. Board members talking over each other, shock rippling through the space. You can't resign, Jonathan says. I can and I am, but I'm not walking away entirely. She slides papers across the table. I'll remain as board chair, maintain my majority shares, but day-to-day operations will transfer to whoever you select. This is insane. This is necessary. Sophia stands. For 16 years, I've given everything to this company. And yes, we've been successful. But success without meaning is just numbers on a screen. I'm not abandoning Laurent Technologies. I'm recalibrating what matters. She walks out before anyone can respond. 2 days later, Sophia stands outside Wang's Auto Repair at noon, holding 2 brown bag lunches she made herself. The sandwiches are probably terrible, but it's the gesture that counts. Marcus sees her and walks outside, wiping his hands on a rag. Hi, Sophia says. Hi, how's the corporate crisis? Resolved, I stepped down as CEO. Marcus blinks. You did what? I restructured my role. I'm still board chair, still majority shareholder, but someone else will run day-to-day operations. She holds up the bags. I made lunch, from scratch. It's probably terrible. A smile tugs at his mouth. You made lunch. I wanted to show you I'm serious about being a person who does things instead of just paying people to do things. He takes one of the bags, examines the uneven sandwich inside. The bread to peanut butter ratio is way off. I told you it was probably terrible. But you tried. He meets her eyes. That's what matters. They eat lunch, sitting on the curb outside the garage, cars passing by, sun warm on their faces. The sandwiches are not great, but they're genuine. I can't promise this will work, Marcus says. You and me, our lives are so different. I know. And I still worry about you treating us like a project. I'm not trying to save you, Marcus. I'm trying to learn from you. She pauses. I'm trying to build a life that means something. He considers this. Maya's talent show is Friday night, 7 p.m. I'll be there. She's been practicing her dinosaur poem every night. She's nervous you won't come. I'll be there, I promise. Marcus finishes his sandwich. If you want to keep showing up, keep being part of our lives in a real way, not a rescuer way, then yeah, we can see where this goes. That's all I'm asking for. He stands, offers his hand to help her up. Fair warning, our lives are messy, bills are tight. Maya has asthma episodes, there's no glamour here. I don't want glamour, I want real. Then welcome to real. Friday night, Roosevelt Elementary Gymnasium is packed. Sophia sits in the back row beside Marcus, wearing jeans and a sweater. Just another person here to watch children perform. The show begins. A parade of children perform various acts. Then it's Maya's turn. She walks onto stage in her purple dress, stands at the microphone, and begins. My poem is called The Dinosaurs Who Loved the Stars. What follows is a surprisingly sophisticated meditation on extinction and memory, on creatures who once ruled the earth and now exist only in bones and imagination. It's clumsy in places, brilliant in others, and entirely Maya. When she finishes, the audience applauds, but Maya shields her eyes from the stage lights, scanning the crowd. Sophia, are you here? Sophia's heart stops. She stands, raising her hand. I'm here, Maya. The little girl's face lights up. You came, you really came. This poem is for you, and for Daddy, and for everyone who thinks that when something's gone, it's really gone forever, but it's not. We remember, and remembering is its own kind of alive. The audience applauds louder. Maya takes her bow and runs off stage. Minutes later, she throws herself at Sophia and Marcus simultaneously. Did you like it? Was it good? It was perfect, Sophia says, hugging her tight. You were amazing. Marcus lifts his daughter onto his lap. I'm so proud of you, baby. Sophia feels Marcus's hand find hers in the darkness. His palm is rough with calluses, warm, steady. She holds on tight. This is what real feels like. After the show, they walk to the taco truck on 5th. Maya chatters about her performance. They eat under the streetlights, watching the city move around them. Sophia's phone buzzes. A text from David. Board approved your transition plan. New CEO starts in 45 days. She types back, good, I made the right choice. Maya tugs on her sleeve. Sophia, can you come to my science fair next month? I'll be there. Promise? Promise. Marcus catches her hand. Thank you for showing up, for being here, for not giving up. Thank you for seeing me. Later, at Marcus's apartment, after Maya falls asleep, they sit on the couch, drinking tea. I have something to tell you, Sophia says. I'm starting a foundation, something smaller, more direct than the Laurent Foundation, helping single parents who need support but not charity. And I was hoping you'd help me run it. You're offering me a job? I'm offering you a partnership. Fair salary, real input. None of the billionaire saving the poor person dynamic. Marcus is quiet. Then he pulls her closer. For now, how about we just be two people who care about each other, figuring it out as we go? I can do that. He kisses her softly. I love you, Sophia Laurent. Just so we're clear. Tears spring to her eyes. I love you too. They sit in comfortable silence. This is what she's been searching for, not someone impressed by her success or intimidated by her wealth, just someone to sit with in the quiet moments, building something real together. 6 months later, Maya's 9th birthday party is held in a park. 20 kids run wild, parents chat on picnic blankets. Sophia helps Maya open presents, genuinely delighted by each dinosaur toy and art supply. Marcus appears with lemonade. You doing okay? More than okay. This is perfect. He kisses her temple. Thinking about that night in the rain? Best mistake I ever made, letting myself be seen. Thank you for being worth seeing. As the party winds down, the three of them sit on a blanket watching stars come out. Best birthday ever, Maya announces. You say that every year, Marcus teases, because every year gets better, especially this year because Sophia's here. You're part of our family now. Sophia's throat tightens. Is that okay with you? It's more than okay. It's perfect. Marcus meets Sophia's eyes over Maya's head. I hope you're planning to stick around. As long as you'll have me. Then that's settled. They stay until the stars are fully out, until Maya falls asleep between them, until the air grows cool. Marcus carries Maya to the car while Sophia gathers their things. Hey, Sophia, Marcus says. Yeah? About that foundation partnership. I'm in, but we do it right. No press releases, no photo ops, just real help for real people. That's exactly what I want. Then count me in, partner. Partner. Later, lying in bed in the apartment they now share, Sophia thinks about the journey that brought her here. From that rainy night when she sat against a brick wall, desperate to feel invisible, to now, when being seen by the right people is all that matters. She thinks about the jacket Marcus gave her, how something so simple became the thread that tied their lives together. Marcus stirs beside her. You're thinking too loud. Sorry, just grateful. For you, for Maya, for this life, for that rainy night when you saw someone who needed help and helped them. I didn't know I was saving a billionaire. You weren't saving a billionaire. You were seeing a person. That's what made all the difference. He pulls her closer. I'm grateful too. For the woman who had everything but still needed something. For the one who kept showing up even when I made it hard. They fall asleep tangled together. Sophia dreams of ordinary mornings and school pickups and dinner conversations. She dreams of a life built not on quarterly earnings, but on showing up day after day for the people who matter. She dreams of being enough, just as she is. 1 year later, Sophia and Marcus launched the Whitlock Laurent Foundation in a community center, attended by families they've already started helping. No champagne, no celebrities, just real people building real support networks. Marcus speaks first. This foundation exists because someone looked at me when I was struggling and saw a person worth knowing, not a problem to be solved. We want to pass that forward. Sophia adds, we believe everyone deserves to be seen, not saved, not pitied, but genuinely seen and supported. Maya reads a piece she wrote. My dad always told me that bad days don't last forever. Now I know it's because there are people who help make the good days come faster. The room applauds. Stories are shared. Plans are made. Afterwards, the three of them stand in the empty center. We did it, Sophia says. We're just getting started, Marcus replies. Maya grabs both their hands. Can we go get tacos now? They laugh and head to Miguel's truck, to the picnic table where this all began to feel real. The city moves around them, full of people carrying their own struggles and hopes. Sophia sees them now in a way she never did from her tower. She sees people, not problems. Lives, not statistics. Marcus pulls her close. "Where'd you go?" "Nowhere. I'm right here." "Good. Stay here." Always. They return to their tacos, to their ordinary, extraordinary life. The rain has long since stopped, but Sophia still thinks about that night sometimes. How getting lost led her home. How being invisible for one night taught her how to finally truly be seen. Sometimes the people we help end up helping us right back. Sometimes losing everything you thought you needed teaches you what you actually want. Sometimes a jacket given in kindness becomes the thread that weaves two lives together. Marcus and Sophia's story reminds us that real wealth isn't measured in bank accounts, but in moments shared, in presence chosen over power, in the quiet courage it takes to be truly seen. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you loved this story, check out the other videos on your screen now. I think you'll really enjoy them. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next story.